allows you to get the performance upgrades first, allows you to develop the research plan for the team, so you can develop the car in the driving style that you're most used to.
Thanks for putting me on manual gears.
Right. So, here we are in Montreal. The track evolution system's like the flip side of the weather. So in the dry, the track starts off in dusty conditions and it begins to rubber in over the race weekend. So we're on a race now, so the racing line's going to be much grippier than off the line. If you start to do a number of laps, you start to do balls of rubber appear off the racing line, and those are really quite slippery, particularly at a high tyre degradation circuit like Montreal. Car AI is something we spend a lot of time on, as well as the car physics themselves. The car physics, we've taken the Dirt 2 system and then rewrote large parts of it. So even from the build that's fully playable on the race seats in there, that's still not the latest code. Just this week we did our last final car handling improvement. So we made massive strides forward to get the car to feel much more realistic in its handling characteristics. We've also spent the entire project working on race AI, so that the AI begin to defend corners, they begin to have their own race traits. Some will be better on certain tracks, some will be better on race starts, some will be better in the rain. And it's really a case of trying to figure out who's driving in front of you and what's the best tactic. You see Graham's there, protecting the inside line. Steve's going to go for it anyway. He's got the ability to dial up his engine revs, tweak his air wings if he wants. Whoa. Nearly. So that's just a quick example of a race in the dry. We're now going to flip over to Spa in the red to show you the other end of the spectrum. As Steve touched on earlier, the weather is fully dynamic, so it's not just a straight choice of wet or dry. There's all the variables in between, so it can start dry, turn wet, and then go dry again. And those are the type of conditions that you're going to have the most fun, the most impact on the car handling. Just loading across over to Spa. So other big feature of the game, damage is in there. It's fully simulated as well in terms of its effects on the car handling. You can go over too much curb, you can puncture your tyres, you can damage the diffuser. You can just, if you just lightly touch someone on expert mode, you'll clip off the little end plate in front wing. You see that quite a lot in Formula 1. That has ever such a slight effect on the car handling. Not enough that you'd want to come in for a pit stop, but enough that you need to do some modifications on the steering wheel itself. I'm sure Steve won't be demonstrating damage today, though he's far too good for that. Let's try from the engine. So here we are at a rainy Spa. You can begin to see the level of detail we've got in the rain effects. The rain itself bouncing on the surface of the cars, on the floor, puddles of water. Everyone on the full wet tyres. These tyres are fully simulated, so they suck up 80 litres of water a second and disperse it. You'll see that as we pull away from the grid. Really, the tyre kick-up effect will kick in. We've got rain beads on the camera. It will really begin to start getting treacherous when the cars get to high speed. You see there with the AI, they're all fanning out, they're making the maximum use of the track, they're not all on the racing line following each other like a train. You can hardly see anything as we head down to Eau Rouge. Luckily Steve knows the track like the back of his hand. Right, now we're in someone's toe, but there's traffic in the way. No room. Oh, we're going to go for it anyway. That's the late breakers. Oh. And a warning penalty. So we've got all the flags in the game. We've got yellow flags, green flags, blue flags for moving slow, black markers out of the way. If you start to do too much contact in the race, you will be given a penalty. It depends on the race length. So that can consist of a grid drop for the next race. It could consist of a time penalty. It could consist of a drive-through penalty through the pit lane. Second warning. You see now we're alongside Rosberg, so that's basically Steve's key target to beat in the game. He wants to be the #1 driver. He wants the media to all start asking him questions so he can begin to use them to develop and advance his own career. Line and take a quick look at the track ahead. You need to get your bearings. got the ability to replay and flashback. I'm sure he won't do that, he's far too much of a proud man to do that. Just bringing it back real high level, game modes available in F1 2010, it's time trial, it's Grand Prix mode where you can play as a licensed driver and compete in a single race, you can compete in the custom championship or the full 2010 championship. Oh, we did cheat. No, you didn't. There's also multiplayer mode as well. I think Steve's going to come back and just round it off with that and give you the release date details again.
We're on the end of the field, but at least we managed to complete the race. Well done.
Yeah, multiplayer, the big thing these days in racing games. Absolutely love playing racing games online. In the past it's been because the AI in racing games has been pretty weak. When you try to put AI cars in amongst a human player race, then you really can see that they're quite distinctly different. So they have no real personality, they aren't doing anything. But we've made a big push to try and get the AI cars to do the obvious things, such as defend the inside line into a corner. They drive faster in qualifying than they do in race. They've got a race pace. It changes throughout the race as well. They go faster, for example, before they pit in on the outlap. These kind of things that humans do online all the time. We've got online, 12 players online, you've got the whole weather system, you can play one lap if you want it, you can do a 100% race, there's various game modes such as sprint, where it's just a 3-lap race, any circuit you want, jump online with loads of people and the tracks rotate over time, right through to something called endurance. And what we're trying to do is get people to play slightly longer races. When I say slightly longer, I mean 7-8 laps. There's a mandatory pit stop in endurance races, there's dynamic weather, so if you're not first into the first corner, it doesn't necessarily matter. People have got the different styles. A lot can happen in a race. It happens in Formula 1 all the time. It happens in Formula 1 2010. There's a big push for multiplayer in this game. I think it's going to be particularly popular because it's got different styles. You can run your own custom game. You can say it's realistic rules with the drive-throughs, all these kind of bits and pieces. But beyond that, we've really spent some time trying to focus down on making the cars consistent. Formula 1's all about fractions of a second. It's so hard to come across in racing games. We spend a long time on that. So now the player's got more time to be thinking about what am I going to do in terms of race strategy? Should I be pitting earlier? Do I think the weather's going to change? Do I know this track like the back of my hand? Should I be coming in, changing tyres ahead of time? Should I dial the engine up and go hell for leather at the start? Or should I back off and play the waiting game? There's a lot of different racing styles that we see in our multiplayer sessions in the office. It's a huge title for us. This is our first step. We're very, very keen with Formula 1. We're trying to return it to fans. It's multi-format as mentioned, 360, PS3 and PC, September 23rd. I can't believe we've been working on this now for 2 years flat. People are still in the office slaving over the machines at the moment. It's almost finished. There's a few more big updates to go in this week, but we are very proud of what we've done. It is the first step and we will be here for some time to come. Next year I hope to be back with even more advanced game, but hopefully you've enjoyed the presentation for Formula 1 2010. Thank you very much for coming down, and thank you very much to all the people in the crowd waiting to have a go.
Nächster Applaus für Rich, Steve und Paul, meine Damen und Herren vom Codemasters.